Happy Thursday. Here we are. It's another beautiful day. I don't know about where you live, but we had a frost advisory for last night. Wow, here it is. Spring. I was working in the yard wearing my shorts and getting some sun, and all my plants I planted. Frost advisory. So my yard now looks like something out of Sanford and Son because I had to cover all my plants up with everything, whatever I could find. So there's like all these different things. Anyhow, here we are, ready to hear what God has to say for us. And what the message is about today, what I've titled it, it's Calm the Sea. That is because I was scrolling through TikTok. Don't make fun of me. I have to be up on social media since I work with youth. So, anyway, scrolling through, and it really hit me hard just how many people are posting these posts of just pure desperation. And there's so many people out there who are struggling. I mean, just really looking for something to hold on to. And I hope that somehow, some way, this message can reach those people, because the thought of being in a boat lost at sea is a horrifying thought to me. The thought of being in a boat that sinks, that's like my worst fear of death, is it being trapped in the water, in the ocean. It's a boat, just, you think you're safe, and then it just falls out from under you. It sinks, and it keeps going, and you're trying to stay on the surface, and you're struggling, and you're trying to swim, you're tired, and there are horrible creatures in the ocean trying to get you. I am terrified of sharks. And so for me, that's a real fear. And when I think of that, I picture in my head so many people that are out there right now, and they are at the most unimaginable, fearful time of their life where they feel like they're drowning. They feel like the boat has been sucked out from under them, and they are left trying to swim, trying to get back to shore, trying to just see. Sometimes the waves have pushed you so far away you can't even see the shoreline. They're just trying to see something familiar. They're trying to reach for something to hold on to, anything that can hold them up and keep them from sinking further. The idea of being out there in the water and the waves are just crashing over, and that is how some people describe their lives. That's where they're at. This pandemic has caused a lot of separation. It's caused a lot of anxiety. It has caused so many people to feel so alone and trapped, and they're struggling, and they can't see the shore, and they are running out of energy to swim. This desperation is so frightening, and I just want you to know that we serve a God that not only can calm the sea, he can walk on water. So he can meet you where you're at and bring you back safely. He can speak to the storm and calm it. Reading along those lines, let me read to you from Mark 4:35 through 39. That day when evening come, and Jesus is talking to his disciples, they've had a productive day, they've been teaching. That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." And they're talking about getting in a boat and traveling across the water. Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. So when they talk about a squall, they're talking about a storm, and it's tossing and turning, and the waves are coming over the side of the boat, and they literally fear that the boat is going to sink and the waves are going to wash over them. Jesus was in the stern, and he was sleeping on a cushion. Now, there's something very significant about that. He's sleeping through this storm. Why is he asleep through the storm? Because he knows. He knows he's safe. He knows there's no danger. The disciples woke him up and they said, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" So they're a little frustrated with him. They're like, hello, we're dying here and you're snoozing. So Jesus got up, and what does he do? He doesn't get up and look at the sea. He doesn't get up and look at the water and go, "Oh no." He gets up and he says to the waves, "Quiet, be still." And the wind died down, and it was completely calm. So he said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" I love this. Quiet, be still. When we have Jesus in our boat, that's all we have to do is say, "Quiet, be still." These waves that are coming over us, these waves that we feel like are washing over us, this desperation, this despair that we feel like is going to drown us. All we have to do is say, "Be still." As long as you have Jesus in your boat, and by boat, I mean life, and I know that you get that. If you have Jesus in your life, the waves are calmed. The waves can be still. You don't have to feel desperate. You don't have to feel alone. You don't have to be afraid. And I wish I could stress that so much. In Matthew 14:29, it's another instance where the disciples are in the boat and they see Jesus coming towards them. He's walking on the water. They had left him on the shore, and here he comes towards them, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what's happening here?" And so Peter, he says, "Well, if it's really you, just call to me and I'll walk to you." So he does. And Peter walks across the water to Jesus. But before he can get to Jesus, the waves start coming again. The water is not calm anymore. And he gets afraid. He's almost there, but he lets the waves make him afraid, and he takes his eyes off of Jesus, and he feels that fear. And he cries out, "Lord, save me." And Jesus reaches out his hand, and he walks to safety. That's all we have to say is, "Lord, save me." When you feel like you're drowning, when you think you're almost there, and that's where so many of us fail. We have faith and we're going along just fine, and then something unexpected, an unexpected wave comes along. And when it hits us, we get a little wobbly and we get scared. And we take our eyes off of God and we think we can solve the problem ourselves. That's when you sink. Keep your eyes on Jesus. If you have to, call out, "Lord, save me." And he will reach his hand out and he will lead you to safety. It is that simple. We are living in a world where we're allowing ourselves to become overwhelmed with depression, with anxiety, with loneliness. And the solution is so simple. I wish I could just hug each one of you and be like, look, you don't have to feel this way. You don't have to feel like this. You can be filled with a happiness and a joy. Lord, save me. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and you too can walk across the water. And that's our message for today.